When we think of the amounts of people that are on social media, so for instance, Facebook now have over 1.4 billion people using its network. So over 45 minutes a day that the average Facebook user spends on Facebook. Now in media terms, that is very, very powerful. So it's an opportunity for businesses to connect for the people that they know that are on social media for quite a long period of time. Probably the biggest one is actually finding the time and resources to actually do it effectively. And some businesses do it really well and they get a return on investment on that activity. If you're a hotel or a restaurant, for instance, and you continually have to develop social media content for that business, it can be a challenge that I think some businesses do struggle with. It's one of the other pitfalls with social media is the way that it's structured in allowing anybody to comment on a particular topic. So it's very different from the kind of one-way broadcast model that a lot of businesses would have been familiar with. But there's also the flip side of that coin, is that there's a lot of people who are very supportive of brands. If you just think about, the content that people would take in a bar or a restaurant that supports that business to communicate what it does. So there's a lot of positives about social media, but the other side of it is that some people can go in and give the business a hard time. The top 3 social media channels that I would recommend tourism businesses to use, number 1 is Facebook. There's 78% of people in Northern Ireland who are using Facebook, and a lot of them will be on Facebook for a significant part of the day. Facebook also owns Instagram, and Instagram is one of the newer social media networks, a lot more visual in nature, is becoming a lot more popular. And then another one, and interesting, will be Pinterest. So Pinterest is about 22% of people in Northern Ireland. It's very, very good for anybody in the hospitality and tourism area because it supports people putting up photos and video content as well, based around boards of interest, everything from travel to food to hospitality. One top tip would be to make it very much centered on people. So that could be your customers or your staff that you have as well. The clue's in the name, it's social media, and a lot of the social media posts and content that performs really well revolves around ordinary people, sometimes in extraordinary stories, but it's about real people living real moments. Another top area for social media content is in and around the area of user-generated content. And user-generated content is where your brand fans or people who are your customers perhaps have actually created content for themselves to share on social media. There's a really big opportunity there to connect with people who you can encourage to take positive content of your business or your destination and to share it online. And when they share it online, what they're actually doing is actually marketing your own destination or marketing your business. One of my favourite restaurants is Junior's in Dublin, and also Polly's Pizza as well. And they're very, very effective at social media because they instill it down to its basics of great quality photography of food and the life that's in the restaurant, customer pics and customer stories, and also stories about their own staff as well. So that combined is a very authentic approach to how to do social media. They're not trying to sell anything overtly, but they're actually just letting the food and the service and the people in the business sell the business through great quality content. The other example that I would have is Visit Wicklow. So they're very, very strong on developing good quality stories to promote on social media, and a lot of those stories are based in and around interviewing people from different tourism businesses across the county, people who then encapsulate what Wicklow is. There's a couple of different scenarios that businesses need to be aware of. If somebody's posting a highly derogatory or defamatory statement or has named staff in a kind of a nasty way, then you might want to take the approach that you don't respond to that person to get around the risk of them actually just responding to you again and starting this kind of chain then of responses and tit for tat. The other tactic is to go in and hide a comment that somebody has made that you think is highly derogatory to your brand. Now, there's pros and cons to that, because some people would say, for instance, that if you do go in and hide comments, then that encourages them to come back and make even more, or if you ban them from the page, that might encourage them to come back. It's not easy for businesses, but they do need to get to grips with it. One of the areas that helps then is actually just writing out what you will tolerate and not tolerate on your own Facebook page, but be conscious that you are responsible for managing the content, which includes other people's content as well. So there's a number of areas that businesses can actually proactively do to encourage people to take positive content of their business. One popular area that we see more and more in modern marketing is through the use of user-generated content competitions. But others, it might just be you're asking your brand fans or people that have visited your bar or your destination to go in and take positive content as to be part of the moment, to be part of the place as well. So you see a lot more tourism brands doing that, particularly national and local tourism boards. And influencers are defined by people who have built up followings on social media, tied in with their own particular areas of expertise or hobbies or interests. And businesses can connect with those people and use them by actually getting them to experience their brand and posting about that. And in doing so, then they will promote that particular business or brand to their own followers. Now, there has to be a bit of a caveat about using influencers, because there has been quite a lot of negative publicity about fake influencers, people who've paid for their own social media followings, and some people who are turning to businesses to try and gain payment for covering them in social media. There's no doubt that there's a lot of small tourism businesses who have used influencers very, very effectively, but I think that businesses need to look at the totality of marketing and the tactics they will use and to kind of weigh it up as well. But certainly they can, for a lot of businesses, be a very good way to promote themselves on social media if it's done correctly.